What's up everyone, welcome to FilmSpot, and today we will be talking about the best upcoming movies. We've known for some time that DC Studios co-leads James Gunn and Peter Safran were cooking up a big, bold plan to effectively reset Warner Bros. Discovery's universe of superhero movies in order to get the cinematic franchise back on track in the David Zaslav era. Now the first details of that plan are starting to be released, and it's sounding a lot like the new DC universe is going to be going back to the basics as the studio builds to a new future. Though Gunn and Safran almost certainly have more ideas in the pipeline, Warner Bros. Discovery announced this week that 5 movies and 5 series will kick off Chapter 1 of the DC Universe. In a press release, the studio described this first chapter as focusing on some of the franchise's most powerful gods and monsters, and Safran emphasized how Chapter 1 is being designed to minimize audience confusion and maximize audience engagement across platforms. According to WBD, there's definitely going to be a sequel to Matt Reeves' The Batman starring Robert Pattinson that the studio has titled The Batman Part 2 and plans to release in theaters on October 3rd, 2025. But the real start of the new DC universe will come earlier that year by way of Superman Legacy, a new film due out July 11th, 2025, that Gunn is writing and which will introduce a new Superman who is not portrayed by Henry Cavill. While the DC Universe will spotlight stories about many of DC's signature characters, like Batman, Robin, and multiple Green Lanterns, Gunn stressed that Superman Legacy will be a foundational piece of the franchise's future. Gunn said, "Not only is Superman an iconic part of DC lore, he is also a favorite character for comic book readers, viewers of earlier movies, and fans around the world. I can't wait to introduce our version of Superman, who audiences will be able to follow and get to know across films, movies, animation, and gaming." Following Superman Legacy, the DC Universe will similarly introduce its new core version of Bruce Wayne as Batman, portrayed by someone other than Pattinson, and his son Damian Wayne operating as Robin in a film titled The Brave and the Bold. A hardened, darker version of Superman's cousin, Kara Zor-El, will be introduced in her own solo film titled Supergirl: The Woman of Tomorrow. And Swamp Thing will rise again as a new horror feature that delves into its eponymous anti-hero's origins. Surprisingly, the DC Universe will also introduce a number of DC Comics imprint Wildstorm's lethal heroes in The Authority, which could bring characters like Midnighter and Apollo to the big screen for the first time. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Gunn and Safran explained that while those first 5 movies are obviously meant to be tentpoles that pull fans in, the TV side of things will be just as integral to DC Studios, as all of the DC Universe projects are interconnected. In the wake of Peacemaker's success, it makes sense that Viola Davis will reprise her role as Amanda Waller in Waller, a new series penned by Watchmen's Crystal Henry and Supernatural's Jeremy Carver. Waller's influence will be felt all throughout a new animated Creature Commandos series revolving around a group of monstrous prisoners she tasks with going on Suicide Squad-style missions. But the DC Universe will also bring much more heroic characters into the fold, with series like Booster Gold, a story about a regular man from the future masquerading as a superhuman, and Paradise Lost, a Game of Thrones-like Wonder Woman prequel series set on Themyscira. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will be very busy taking care of their own business in the DC Universe's Lanterns, which Safran described as being very terrestrial-based and in the vein of True Detective, rather than a straight epic about space cops. But he also made clear that Lanterns plays a big role in leading into the main story we are telling across film and TV, and that actors from the show will eventually appear in subsequent movies. After years of watching the DCEU trying to play catch-up to Disney's success with the MCU, it's interesting to see Warner Bros. Discovery laying out a game plan to properly build a robust franchise. But Chapter 1 is going to hinge on a number of factors, like whether the public really is as fatigued of superhero movies as the internet often likes to insist, and if people can be convinced to become invested in a new DC cinematic universe after watching the first movies, Shazam 2, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2. The slate of the Super Bowl movie trailers is revealed, with at least 11 confirmed trailers. While the Super Bowl is mainly for football spectacle, it will also deliver new movie trailers and high-profile and funny advertisements that will play during the commercial breaks. 2023's Super Bowl will take place this year on Sunday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. As that February date fast encroaches, the list of movie trailers premiering at the Super Bowl has been revealed by Deadline. This list includes many upcoming films, including Fast X, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, DC's The Flash, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, The Little Mermaid, Scream 6, Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, and Pixar's Elemental. The trailers will also include a 15-second spot for Elizabeth Banks' Cocaine Bear and will possibly feature Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and The Marvels. Deadline also expects potential appearances from Creed 3 and John Wick Chapter 4. 2023's film anticipation goes far beyond the Super Bowl list. The trailer list does not even begin to tap into the post-spring and summer blockbusters for 2023, which include Dune Part 2, The Expendables 4, The Hunger Games, Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and Disney's Wish. It also leaves out the upcoming summer franchise film Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is slated for a July 14th release. Another compelling facet of this list is the inclusion of the Flash film. Steeped in the controversy surrounding star Ezra Miller, The Flash has been continually delayed over the past several years, even being delayed multiple times in 2022. The Flash trailer spot within the Super Bowl 2023 lineup indicates that The Flash will stick to its June 6th release plan. The Super Bowl boasted 112 million viewers last year, so their attempt to up or at least match their trailer game from last year is a logical step. Perhaps with a Guardians of the Galaxy and Fast X laden slate as this is, the Super Bowl might just be able to exceed 2022's viewer count. Pokémon Detective Pikachu 2 receives a surprisingly positive update from Legendary Entertainment. The first live-action Pokémon movie ever, Detective Pikachu, follows Justice Smith as an aspiring trainer who teams up with the eponymous electric-powered investigator to solve the mystery of his missing father. Months before the film's release in 2019, Legendary was already developing a sequel with 22 Jump Street's Oren Uziel writing the script. However, there haven't been any substantial updates since then. Now, Pokémon Detective Pikachu 2 has received a surprisingly promising update. According to a representative for Legendary Entertainment, the project is still in active development. Representatives for Uziel stated he is no longer involved, though he did write a screenplay. However, Legendary remained mum on who is currently working on Pokémon Detective Pikachu 2. Creed star Michael B. Jordan has confirmed that Creed 4 is on the way ahead of the upcoming release of the franchise's third film. The first Creed movie was released in 2015 and starred Jordan as Adonis Creed and Sylvester Stallone as his iconic Rocky Balboa character, albeit much later on in his life. The film series follows Creed's rise in a boxing world that forces him to overcome countless internal and external obstacles. Stallone was nominated for the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his work in the original film. The trilogy completing Creed 3 will hit theaters on March 3rd. In an interview with IGN, Jordan says that Creed 4 is for sure happening. The lead actor and Creed 3 director doesn't confirm any specific projects, but does say he wants to expand the universe of the films. A sequel to the upcoming slasher film Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is officially announced, with the title revealed as Winnie the Pooh 2. Featuring iconic characters Pooh and Piglet envisioned as slasher villains, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey sees the pair terrorizing a group of friends who rent a cabin in the 100-acre woods. The story is built around a darker take on Winnie the Pooh, with Pooh and Piglet having been forced to eat Eeyore after Christopher Robin stops visiting them and giving them food. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is already in theaters in Mexico, with a US release slated for February 15th. Despite only being released in one territory so far, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey's official Twitter page announced that a sequel titled Winnie the Pooh 2 is currently in the works. While there is no information yet on what Winnie the Pooh 2 will entail, it's safe to say that Pooh and Piglet will return as slasher villains, continuing to kill people who encroach on their home in the 100-acre wood. With a tagline like "More blood, more honey," it appears the sequel will be increasing the level of slasher terror Pooh enacts on the film's human fodder. The filming start and location of A Simple Favor 2 have been revealed. Released in 2018, A Simple Favor is based on Darcy Bell's novel of the same name and follows Stephanie Smothers, a widowed single mother and vlogger, as she tries to solve the mystery of her new friend Emily Nelson's disappearance. The twisty plot and performances by Kendrick, Lively, and Henry Golding, who portrays Emily's husband Sean Townsend, were praised by critics, and the film earned over $97 million at the box office. A sequel was announced in May 2022. In one of the first updates since A Simple Favor 2 was confirmed, a source has relayed to People that the comedy crime thriller is set to commence production in fall 2023, roughly 5 years after the release of the first film. Additionally, unlike the first movie, which was marked by an American suburbia setting, A Simple Favor 2 will take place and shoot in Capri, Italy. The source further notes that the returning Lively and Kendrick will be joined by most or all of A Simple Favor's supporting cast, which included Andrew Rannells, Linda Cardellini, Dustin Milligan, Gene Smart, and Rupert Friend. John Wick star Keanu Reeves explains his character's involvement in Ana de Armas's upcoming spin-off movie, Ballerina. The first John Wick movie in 2014 was a surprise hit, kickstarting a franchise that now features 3 feature films with a 4th on the way. In addition to the 4th installment, production is currently underway on Ballerina, which stars de Armas as a young assassin who sets out for revenge after the murder of her family. Aside from Wick himself, the spin-off is also expected to feature other John Wick characters like Ian McShane's Winston, Lance Reddick's Sharon, and Angelica Huston's Director. In a recent interview with Total Film, Reeves offers up some additional details on his role in Ballerina, hinting that Wick may not actually be getting very much screen time. Despite this, however, Reeves promises that his character's appearance doesn't feel forced and is actually very organic. The actor also shares some high praise for de Armas, who apparently is a natural when it comes to filming action scenes. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.